What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Survive with DP. Yes, it's Sunday again. I am the aforementioned Despop. You can call me Jay or Douchebag, whichever you prefer. We are very flexible here. If I should showcase an account, I ask that you follow them, unless otherwise stated, because sometimes I showcase losers. Well, I did it, folks. I made the decision to part with the almighty Doobie Spliff. But let me give you some background on my journey. I was in law enforcement for over 2 decades. I was, and very much still am, a staunch law abider. I lived my whole life in a state that eventually legalized marijuana, yet I still waited till around 3 years after I retired to give it a try. After someone close to me at the time realized my struggle with PTSD wasn't getting any better post-retirement. The first time I tried it, about 2 years ago, I remember laying down immediately, staring at the ceiling and crying uncontrollably, like a little bitch. And for the first time in my adult life, I thought, is this what normal feels like? This person guided me through all the literature and studies proving its positive effects on my condition, and I was convinced. Prior to that, I was used to the talking points solely coming from the smelly white chicks with dreadlocks. It cures cancer, man, as alleged by those not suffering from that dreaded disease. It cures glaucoma, man, stated from someone without a fucking seeing eye dog. You know, I'm very big on honesty, and I always thought the proper approach would be to say it's way better than alcohol, man. Or better yet, be honest and just say, I like getting fucked up, man. Well, let's get into why I think you people need someone like me. And it's not simply because of my law enforcement background, which should lend some credence to the argument. It's also that I never smoked in my life before that. I'm not one of these experts whose only expertise is that you've been smoking since you were 12. No. You're a junkie. But I was a detective, so I know I look good in the suit, especially at this weight, down over 60 pounds in 5 months. I get my hair cut and beard trim twice a week. I don't own any cologne. Why? Because I fucking shower daily. I also shave my balls regularly. So see, I'm not the prototypical stoner. You need someone like me in this fight. One of the things I hate to hear, it's all natural, man. Shut the fuck up. It was all natural when the best strain you could find topped out at 3% THC. The problem is you're using 70s and 80s talking points to this day. There is nothing natural about today's weed. This shit has been dissected, spliced, and put back together at the molecular level. The poison, and yes, it's absolute poison you put in the soil, anything but natural. Please tell me, what's fucking natural about the dab oil process? What's natural about a vape? Now they're putting it in drinks. You can drink THC. Get the fuck out of here. Hell, if your argument is that it's just a plant, ergo it's safe, I present to you the poppy. What's the difference? So no, it's not natural. Stop fucking lying. But that isn't to say that today's weed is not extremely helpful to someone like myself. And as a former cop, I can say with all my heart, anyone and everyone should choose weed over booze. Liquor is fucking poison. Truly. Plus, I never got physically attacked on the job by someone who was solely smoking lettuce. They were always the most peaceful folks to deal with. Alcohol use typically ended in a physical confrontation during arrest. It's no good, folks. And I'm not opposed to sipping on a good tequila every now and then, although I rarely do it anymore. And not long ago, I relocated to a state which doth not partake. Being that I still hold true to the law, I refuse to do things the wrong way. I had some Massachusetts weed that I brought with me, but only because I paid for it and I wasn't gonna fucking toss it out. And I soon found myself out of product and reached out to the X community. I was advised that in order to stay legal, which was very important to me, to switch to THCA. I had never heard of this, but apparently it's okay with the feds. I wasn't about to risk having the legit shit mailed to me, and growing is not an option here. So I did it, unfortunately without doing my own research. Well, I just recently realized why my depression has slowly but increasingly spiked over the last few months. Sorry to say it, but at least for me, this shit is garbage. I'm not trying to shit on a legit industry or anyone in particular, which I'm sure does provide relief to some. But as I've explained before, I am truly medicinal. I don't look to get high. I don't wake and bake. I don't dab. I don't even own a bong. I don't know how to roll, nor was I ever interested in learning. Nope. I wanted all the other effects the magic plant had to offer. I didn't care about THC percentage. I'd buy low THC if the terp count was high. THCA, I find, is only about the high, nothing else. I'd wake up full of piss and vinegar with big plans for the day, and around noon, I'd go to get my daily single hit noon dose, and I'd immediately fall apart. I'd lose all my energy, yes, with the sativa too, so please shut the fuck up, experts. Then I'd lock myself in a dark room and just stare at nothing, dwelling on the hell I've lived for the past 18 years. Some of you may know I was homeless, living in a vehicle for the first 7.5 months of 2025. And you know what I never ever felt? Not a single time, even with crippling PTSD. Depressed. I was never depressed. I felt fucking great. I was never concerned, and I knew that if I just kept plugging away, kept my intentions pure, I would pull out of it. Guess what? I totally did. I am on fire, baby. And then I just started to go backwards. Why am I saying this? Because those in my situation cannot afford to experiment. We need a sure thing. A bad hit of anything could end us. I was able to quit one of 2 SSRIs with real weed. Now I'm afraid I may have to go back on it. And that fucking pill devastated me. I hated it. I'm hoping with the new rescheduling of cannabis, maybe more states will at least move to the medicinal market, at which time I can purchase the real shit while also staying on the right side of the law. But in the meantime, I urge any of you dealing with this demon, first and foremost, stay the fuck away from alcohol. But also, I urge you to give low-dose THC marijuana a try. I often wish I was back in that room the first night crying while staring at the ceiling. I want to get trapped in that fucking moment permanently. But if you can't legally get the stuff, I'd stay away from the fake real stuff. Now, if you just want to get fucked up, I would recommend THCA 100 times out of 100 over alcohol. Absolutely. But always be aware of your thoughts. THCA felt fine a few months ago, but if I let it go another month or 2, I might have been in trouble. Even if whatever you're taking is big pharma doctor prescribed, don't simply take it and forget it thinking it's a Band-Aid. There is no cure for this. Stay mindful of your thoughts. Turn inward and face your demon. Put it on a leash and then treat it. And believe me, when I visit my former home, you best believe I'm going to the dispensary and I'm having a motherfucking party, and you're all invited. So, that's it for now. Until things change, I'm done. It's not worth it. I just went through a 3-day withdrawal that almost broke me. That never happened to me with real weed. I take days off at a time and never even felt antsy. With all that said, I will continue to be a strong advocate for true medicinal use and even recreational. The government won't ban alcohol. Banning weed makes no fucking sense to me. I also plan on tagging everyone and anyone that may reach DC with this vid. I'm just a tiny account, but hopefully the message spreads. The Doobie Patrol community that accepted me will always be a big part of my life. I ain't going nowhere, bitches. Herd of Edibles will always get whatever pressed or repost they need from me because fuck cancer. Shaggy, Big A, FL Dad, The Boys Live Show. I take a bullet for you bitches, and I can't wait to get back on the show. And one day, Cheech and Chong willing, I'll be back on the bowl and maybe getting some proper sleep again. But until then, later bitches.
Domino, motherfucker. Get him, Jay.
I'm not a cop.
You got DP'd.